Let's take cover. It's about to rain again, I announced as a clap of thunder resonated in the thick, dark clouds above us, and the rain that was reduced to a drizzle seconds ago picked up its pace. Ejiro, your mom will complain, you know that. Anderson replied, wiping rain droplets from his face. It's raining, I responded, grabbing his hand and guiding him through the puddle of water. Seeing that arguing with me was useless, Anderson followed my lead to the abandoned woodshed at the roadside. We huddled up in the corner of the shed because it had so many leaks that there was little difference between being there and under the rain. I hugged my backpack to my chest to prevent my books from getting wet, while Anderson would not stop pacing. Calm down, Anderson. My mom will not come out in the rain to find us together, I said through chattering teeth, when I noticed how Anderson would not stop looking out for my mother in every stranger that passed by. This rain, he muttered, and looked at me with his kind eyes that made me feel warm. You know your mom doesn't like me. I don't want you to get punished for not getting home early. I cocked my brow and shrugged, but in the pit of my stomach, I knew that Anderson was right. My mother has a strict schedule I must adhere to. Once school ends at 3 p.m., I want to see you in this house at latest 3:20 p.m. Can you hear me? My mother instructed, pulling my ears. My heartbeat doubled as I pictured her face if she caught me now in this shade with Anderson. Are you cold, babe? Anderson asked, as he stopped his pacing to squeeze my hand lightly. Our eyes locked, and I immediately looked away, smiling, forgetting my mother's anger for a second. No, I lied, and Anderson kissed the top of my head, his cold lips. I chuckled while my insides squealed. I felt so happy being out in the cold with him. You want to know what I wish for? Anderson asked. His finger stroked the top of my hand. His dark eyes held mine. What? I blushed, ears perked up to hear him over the patter of rain on the rusted roofing sheets. I want to wake up next to you every morning, Anderson declared with a goofy smile. We'll have 2 daughters that will look just like you. I giggled. This is why I chose Anderson over Paul, his sweet tongue. I'm not joking, babe. I can't wait to be done with this school while I can, or so that we can be free in uni. I swallowed, the smile on my face fading. Anderson's hawk eyes caught the sudden change in my mood. What is this, Ejiro? Last week, my dad said once jam form is out, I'll be failing Ibadan. He no longer wants me to study in Ekboma. I pursed my lips after I dropped the bomb I had been holding on to all week. Anderson's shoulders visibly sagged. What? He thundered, as his Adam's apple bubbled. I bit my lip to suppress the tears that were warming up. It's not fair we have no say in this decision. We already had our dreams mapped out. We would attend Abrusale University together. I would study law while Anderson majors in architecture. For the first year, we agreed to stay on campus, but once we get to our second year, we would have saved up enough money to rent an apartment off campus and live together. It was a perfect dream, only to be shattered by my parents. No matter how much I pleaded and cried, it was settled. I'll be shipped to Ibadan to live with my auntie and study. We can't let them separate us. We'll run away together, Anderson muttered, his eyes shining. Slightly taken aback by his sudden outburst, I reached out to wipe dry mud off his fair skin. I'll go anywhere with you, I heard myself say. Anderson heaved a sigh of relief and smiled. I love you, babe. We'll go somewhere far away from our parents, start our own life, and go to school together. We'll be very happy. Then, when the time is right, we'll get enough money and get married. I smiled while he spoke. He built this idea of a perfect life with me. This moment was like a scene from a soap opera I see on television. Although Anderson in the past swore never to see one of the dramas I recommended because, in his words, it's chaos to watch such things. At this moment, I could not help but wonder if seeing those soap operas made him suggest running away with me. Seeing my favorite soap was always the tug of war back home, because if my father gets to the remote before you, forget it. I was comforted with the thought that perhaps when Anderson and I have our own home, I'll be free to watch my programs on television. I leaned forward to kiss Anderson, but quickly pulled back. I blinked rapidly as I watched the stout woman from a fair distance swaying under a purple umbrella. My mother. I quickly discarded Anderson's warm hand and made to run back into the rain. Anderson's firm grip on my arm held me back. Except Anderson had a death wish, he needed to let me go. I'll see you tonight, baby. At the general park, come with a few things at 8 p.m. Anderson kissed my forehead before letting me go. Later that night, I lay in bed, snuggled under my blanket, waiting for a premature sleep to carry me away. But the noise of Mr. Jerome's generator would not allow me drift away. I glanced at the wall clock my dad hung up to avoid me being late for school. It informed me that it was 7 p.m. My heart skipped a beat. In an hour, I should be at the motor park with Anderson. But how? I shifted uncomfortably under the duvet, leaving one leg out for the cold air to tingle. Run away from what exactly? My parents would take care of me. And what are we going to eat? I murmured as sleep finally embraced me. The next time my eyes fluttered open, I could hear the cock crow and my mother humming in the kitchen. I fidgeted, thinking about how I would possibly face Anderson at school today. I decided to lie. I can say I feel ill. That's why I could not meet up with our plan. My heart was still pounding by the time I took my seat in class, avoiding Anderson's gaze. Ejiro, he called, and I turned slowly to face him. My throat felt dry, and I resisted the urge to start shrugging down water from my bottle. I'll do anything to avoid this awkward conversation. I opened my mouth to speak, still avoiding Anderson's eyes, but he beat me to the punch. EJ, I am so sorry. Anderson started. I'm so sorry I didn't show up, even though I was the one who suggested we run away together. I stared at Anderson in disbelief as he spoke. I attempted to speak again, to put him out of his misery and tell him I did not go to the park either, but my tongue was tied. Anderson, looking at me with his big, sad, guilty eyes, tempted the laughter brewing in my chest to spill, but I suppressed it. Anderson scratched his head in frustration. I'm so sorry, Ejiro. It was stupid of me. Please say something. I rolled my eyes, feigning annoyance, and without saying a word, I faced the front of the class. Anderson did not relent. He quickly slipped me an apology note, which I refused to open. I decided to wait until after Anderson has bought me yogurt as a peace offering, like he usually does when he offends me, before telling him I did not go to the park either. For now, let him think I did.